Hello and welcome, all the students of class 5. Children, today we are going to study and understand a new kind of poem. And the name of the poem is Books Make Good Pets by John Agard. What a wonderful picture frame, right? So, children, this poem has been written by a British poet, and he is a playwright and children's writer from Ghana. His literature is socially and politically conscious, often talking about the history and the struggles of the people from Britain's one time African and Caribbean colonies. Okay, so we generally keep pets often for pleasure and sometimes for companionship, right? Some keep dogs or cats, and there are some people who keep pigeons, birds, or rabbits. Now, these pets are considered to be a part of owner's family. They give unconditional love to their owners, isn't it? That is the reason that people keep pets at their homes, right? So, the theme of the poem is the poem stresses on the advantages of reading books and asserts that books are far better than keeping pets. Yes, they are in fact paper pets. In every stanza, the poet draws an analogy between pet animal and a book. Now, what is analogy? Analogy means when you make a comparison in order to explain the meaning or the difference between the two things which are being compared. And in this particular poem, we are comparing pet animals with the books, right? So let's see the word meaning of stanza 1. First is wet. Now, what is wet? You can see that in the picture itself. Wet is a doctor who takes care of the animals, or you can say animal doctor, okay? Then lead. What is lead? You can see this particular belt which is being tied out around the neck of the animal. With the help of this, the animal is being controlled or chained. Okay. The domestic animals basically. Now, what is flick? Flick is something, a kind of quick movement, sudden and quick movement. Like you can see that in the picture, the actions involved when we turn off the alarm, okay, and when the doctor pricks the injection on the teeth itself, and then how we, with a quick movement, we turn on the mobile phone, and the quick movement, the way we throw the ball into the basket, and similarly, okay. And then the other word is dog eared. Now, as the name signifies, it is similar to the ears of dog, okay. How are the dog ears? Like this, falling down. So the pages which you see here in this picture, you can see it appears to be dog eared, right? So the folded edge of the book's page, this is the term used for them, dog eared. Okay. Now, stanza 1. Books make good pets and don't need going to the vet. You don't have to keep them on a lead or throw them a stick. They'll wag their tails when you flick their dog eared pages. So, this is exactly what's written in stanza number 1. Now, what is the meaning of this particular stanza? Here, the comparison or analogy is between dog and book. Now, if, for instance, you have dog as a pet, then you have to take that dog to the vet occasionally for regular checkups, right? However, you are not supposed to take the books to any kind of doctor because they don't suffer from any kind of disease, okay? Or they don't fall sick at all. You are free as far as that responsibility is concerned, right? Now, secondly, your books can be kept forever and anywhere without being worried of the whereabouts as compared to dogs, because you need to be careful about your dogs. They can run away if they are not chained properly, and they are constantly needing your attention. They want to be engaged. How do you do that? You use a stick or a ball to keep them engaged, right? So Books don't need such kind of engagement at all. Now then, pet dogs, they keep wagging their tail. Moment you come back from the long day at school, you come back home, they keep wagging their tail just to show their happiness of your arrival. It's so compassionate, right? However, books also do that by wagging the pages, just like a tail. Okay? So let's see the word meaning of stanza number 2. Number 1, purring. Now what is purring? It's a very particular kind of sound which is taken out by the cats. Okay? Because in the second stanza, the comparison of books is done with the cat as a pet. Okay? So it's a sound. So then cushion. What is cushion? You can see that in the picture itself. Something providing protection against any kind of impact. Okay. Browser. Browser is the person who is browsing the pages. Like you see that in the picture itself, this person is just going through the pages. When you are not particularly seeking any specific information, you are just turning the pages. So this is called browsing, and the person is called browser. Aside. Aside means keeping away temporarily. Okay, used to indicate that one is dismissing a topic or changing to a new subject. Next line is 9 lives. Now it's a famous proverb in reference to cats, as it's often believed that cats can escape dangerous situations almost 9 times. It can be a myth, okay, but this is what people say, that they can cheat death 9 times. So next word is twiddling. Now what is twiddling? Moving or turning something around with one's finger many times, especially due to boredom or nervousness, like we do like this or we do like this kind of movement is called twiddling. Okay. When you are quite bored and you're using your fingers to keep yourself occupied, right? The next word is string. String is a thread. You can see that in the picture itself, right? It is used to tie up uh, things. Now, this was the pouring sound which you heard just now. Now, stanza 2. Let's see what's written in stanza number 2. Books make good pets and don't need going to the vet. Now, it's a repetitive line, okay? One curious look sets them purring on the cushion of your eyes, as if to say, "Dear browser, you have picked me up before and thrown me aside, but I have more than 9 lives, and no need to keep twiddling that piece of string." Now, this is what exactly is written in stanza number 2. Now, what does the stanza mean? Cats are really cute. They're lively, they're gentle and loving animals. Okay. They keep the house safe from mice and pests. Now, books are like cats. How? Like the cats have 9 lives, similarly, the books also have 9 lives. It's an assumption actually. Books like cats, the way cats purr when they make that particular sound when their owner approaches, comes near to them. It's a kind of feeling of happiness which they reflect in a form of sound from their body. Okay, it's a vibrating kind of sound. Okay, so books do the same purring sound. They tempt the eyes of the reader that, okay, come and read me. Okay, so books, just like cats, boost of 9 lives, they live on for another reader, even if they get rejected once. If somebody has rejected any book, it doesn't mean that no one else is going to read that book again. Any other person can come nearby and read that book. Okay. So they have that charisma. Okay. So let's see the next stanza. Okay. Now look at the word meanings here of stanza number 3. Hibernate. Now, animals, there are a couple of animals who hibernate. Hibernate means winter sleeping. When the weather changes, these animals, they go underground and sleep for few months, and when the spring arises, they come out of their holes or their houses or under the ground. So this long sleep is called hibernate. Okay. Patiently means calmness, very patiently without getting annoyed when you're waiting. That state of mind is called patiently. Then century means 100 years, time span of 100 years. Then is Rediscover. Rediscover means when you come across something which has existed earlier and suddenly it comes in front of you. So this is called rediscovering. Okay. Then rolls. Rolls means moving in a particular motion or direction. Okay. Uh, like you can see, this fan is moving around in a particular motion and direction. So then next is cracked. Now in this stanza, the cracked is used for the wear and tear of the pages. Okay, when the surface gets torn up, damaged and showing lines on the surface from having split without coming apart. You can see this particular picture and you'll get to know what is the meaning of cracked here in this stanza. Next is spine. Now children, what is spine? This is called spine. You can see my cursor. This is the spine of the book, the main joint area. Okay, joint area of the book is called the spine of the book. Okay, I hope you have understood the meaning of stanza number 3. Now let's see what is there in stanza number 3. Now, books make good pets and don't need going to the vet. It's a repetitive line. They'll hibernate in the shell of their covers and patiently wait as long as centuries to be rediscovered in their own good time when some reader rolls them over on their cracked spine. So this is the stanza. Now, what does this mean? You can see that in the picture, all the books, they have been placed in a very proper way. Okay, and these books, they can't move on their own. Readers will come, readers will go, different set of people will come and go, and some or the other time, the books can be picked up by anyone, any reader. It's not that everybody has the same kind of choice. Different people have different taste. So books patiently wait for the reader, that moment the reader will come and the reader is going to pick them up and read. So why the author, the poet is saying so? Books can be considered good pets as they don't require to be taken to the vet doctor, as they never ever fall sick. Books will be there in their respective shelves as long as some reader comes to them and rolls on. Rolls on means when you just point your finger in search of the correct book. Okay, so this is called rolling. Okay, rolls his or her finger to their cracked spine of the book. Here we are talking about the spine of the book. Now let's see the word meaning of stanza 4. Okay, stillness. You can see that in the picture itself. No movement of body or sound. No, complete silence is called stillness. Second is whim. Whim is a sudden desire or change of mind, especially one that is unusual or unexplained. Sometimes you immediately change your opinion or your plan, and you can't even explain that why you did so. Sometimes people call it moody, that yes, he was moody, means change of mood, and you just change the plan. So this is called whim. Okay, glow. Next is glow. Glow means shining brightly. Okay, conveying deep pleasure through one's expression. When somebody's happy, the glow can be seen on the face itself out of happiness. Okay, last word is imagination. Imagination, you can see that in the picture itself, the imagination of the child, whatever you can think in your mind. Okay, now let's see the stanza. Books make good pets and don't need going to the vet. They are as colorful as goldfish in all their stillness. And believe me, this is no whim. Books can glow and swim in the bowl of your imagination. Now, children, what does this mean? This means that here the poet repeats the punchline that the books make good pets and don't need any vet. It is repeated 4th time. Okay, just like a goldfish in a glass bowl, the world of books is equally colorful and beautiful, even when the books are still positioned in their shell. Books are not moving around, they are there in the bookshelf, but still they are so colorful, so beautiful, right? Just like the gold fish in the bowl. Then poet says, trust me. And I'm not saying that out of my mood swings. Books do glow brightly and swim in the world of imagination and fantasy of your mind. Okay, so this is what the poem is all about, children. I hope you enjoyed this poem. And the work for today is write down the poem in your notebook and illustrate it beautifully in your school copy. Okay. Thank you so much, children. Have a wonderful day.